It's Tamara Leach here with Rebel News, and I am joined by Andrew Lawton, MP from Ontario, and also a good friend of mine. Andrew, how are you enjoying the convention?
It's good. It's always good to be around members of our Conservative family from across the country. We had a great showing last night, a really decisive result in support of Pierre Poilievre's leadership, and I think also pretty clear to Canadians broadly what the stakes are after 10 years of Liberals. So glad to be taking what happens here and head back to Ottawa and hold the Liberal government to account next week.
Yes. I love watching you in the House of Commons. I mean, you're such an inspiration, I think, for so many people that want to get involved in politics. And I just want to say, I watched your exchange with Stephen McKinnon the other day in the House, and I was obviously unimpressed with his answer. I mean,
as a proud resident of the National Capital Region, I can only but lament this member's repeated, and I will give him this, he's been consistent on this, his repeated endorsement of the occupation of this downtown, of the disturbance and unbelievable annoyance that this created for residents of downtown Ottawa, and of the fact that it was an unlawful demonstration, Mr. Speaker, that ultimately was ended by the good graces and very Canadian model of cooperative law enforcement, Mr. Speaker.
What did you think of that?
Well, I didn't ask the question expecting an answer, but I had hoped that there would be one. And one of the big frustrations I've seen is that the Liberals will want to claim credit for things that Justin Trudeau did when it suits them. And then when it's something controversial, they say, oh, this is a new government. We have nothing to do with that. And the exchange you're referring to, I was asking if the Liberals will accept the Federal Court of Appeal ruling on the Emergencies Act and accept that they violated the constitutional rights of Canadians, or if they would appeal it. And he wouldn't give an answer. And again, it's another example of they're trying to disclaim responsibility for this Trudeau-era decision. But now, if they appeal it, they have to own that decision. And they have to basically own that they do not believe they broke the law, even though two courts have ruled that they did.
Exactly. Four judges, actually.
Yes.
So, which is with some very direct wording, I might add. I thought the decision, the wording in the decision was pretty decisive. So, going forward now, how would a Conservative government hold this whole situation to account? Because it was ruled as unlawful. Now, in my opinion, history would dictate that a decision like that would force MPs involved in that decision-making process and anybody else to resign.
Well, certainly cabinet ministers need to bear accountability for what they've done. And, obviously Chrystia Freeland and Justin Trudeau are now out of office. I do think that Canadians get very frustrated when you can, violate the most fundamental freedoms we have as Canadians, and that there doesn't seem to be outrage. We haven't seen a lot of pressure from the media. The Liberals have not really come out and apologized at a bare minimum. So I think that from a Conservative perspective, I would say that, for starters, we vow to not do it. We vow to not go down that road. And I think those judges' rulings need to be a really important warning that you can't just for political convenience target your political opponents in those sorts of ways. And,
right.
Whether there are changes to the Emergencies Act itself, I would certainly be happy to look into that process. But I think the whole point of it is that the Act is supposed to constrain governments from doing what the Liberal government did.
Absolutely. And so changing gears a little bit here, we're obviously in beautiful Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah.
And as you know, there's quite a little independence movement happening here. So what would you say to Albertans to encourage them to stay in Confederation and remain a part of the country of Canada when obviously there is a lot of issues and valid concerns, I think, that Albertans have?
I love Canada and I love Alberta, and I love the fact that Alberta and Albertans are a part of this beautiful country. I will say that I understand the frustrations people in the West have, but I'm also very mindful, being an Ontario MP, I don't want to be the one coming here and telling Albertans how they have to think and how they have to feel. I think that in general, right now, the Conservatives are putting forward a vision for a Canada that would alleviate a lot of these concerns. And I think we need to sell that to all Canadians in the next election. And we're trying to make the country a better place for everyone, to make sure Confederation works. But I'm also not going to be an Ontarian that's going to come and tell Albertans that they don't have grievances with the status quo.
Right, exactly. And what's next for you?
We have our Premier Danielle Smith as a speaker here.
Yes.
We have our policy discussions on the agenda. We have lots more people from across the country that I haven't seen in a while that I'm hoping to connect with. And then on Monday, we head back to Ottawa and get back to work.
Well, it's always great to see you. I want to congratulate you on a smashingly successful convention, the largest one I believe you guys have had so far.
I believe so, yes.
That's what I heard anyway. So congratulations, and
Thank
it's
you.
always great to see you. And thank you for making the time for me today.
You too, Tamara. Thank you.